Okay, everybody, welcome to the channel. We are here to review Euphoria season 3, and honestly, it was a gross episode. It was really gross. Um, the tone seems to have shifted. It no longer gives that neon A24 kind of feel. I was more reminded of like a Breaking Bad or those kind of gross 90s, 2000s drug movies like Spun, kind of like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas or like Requiem for a Dream or my favorite, Train Spotting. So that's the kind of vibe that we're going for. It was a lot of body grossness. Like it was a lot of swallowing things. I feel like the glamour was missing. It was a very Rue heavy episode, which of course Rue is the star, but we were very light on Maddie. Jules was not there at all. I feel like when we have them back, then it is going to be a return to that glamour, the pretty makeup, the vibes, instead of the gross crime thriller that we got this episode. But, that's what we got. So we'll go ahead and start the review. So this episode was called On Delay. Rue is trapped in the desert in Mexico, and some guys are helping move her car. She's just driving. She's no road, just driving through. Just vibes. No pull. She's just driving, and we don't know where she's going. Just not a care in the world. So she's making her way to who knows where. We don't really know what's going on. But she gets to the border and her car gets stuck on some guy helps her get up to this ramp and her car gets stuck at the top of the ramp. And this was unlikely, but it was very visually stunning. Like I wasn't prepared for this. I've never seen this before. The car gets stuck. She can't get it to go over the ramp, and she's got this duffel bag full of drugs. She gets that out. I was really afraid that the car was going to roll onto her somehow, or she was going to have to jump off and like break her leg or something. I don't know, but she ends up getting off of the ramp, and she's in Texas, Agua Dulce, Texas, and she's just walking for miles in these flat ass Converse. There's no way that she's just able to make it wherever she's going. So she's walking, and she ends up getting to an Amish family's home. Sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. To an Amish family's home. I want to call them Amish. I don't know if they're Amish, but they don't use electricity, and she is enamored with this family. So the family lets her stay with them, and the vibes are good, I guess. There's a girl there who's about her age. Maybe she's like 16, 17. I'm not really sure. But she's the teenage daughter of the family. And she's clearly she's like, I've never been on the internet, but I'm like, girl, you have Instagram face. Like, let's be real, sweets. You have like maybe a chin implant or something. She was super pretty, but she did look like she's like a Instagram model or something, but she just happens to be Amish. That's Sam Levinson casting, I know. But that girl ends up taking her to the bus station. She ends up riding the bus back to California and walking for miles to get to Lori's house. Lori has moved. They're no longer in their town of East Highland, but I'm thinking they're outside of LA, but it looks like the walk there. I actually don't think they're in LA proper. Maybe they're like on the outskirts or something, because I think they're also living on like a homestead or something where there's chickens. Like they're in like a kind of a shack type of situation living there. I don't know. She owes Lori money. We find out she owes Lori to Lori. If Lori did the math, it's 43 million, even though originally it was $10,000. But Lori says she will settle for $100,000. So basically, Rue is in debt to this woman and they keep adding on debts for her. That car that she left behind in Mexico, that's going to be another fee to her. Never ending list of fees. And I'm happy it went this way, because Lori in season 2 was talking about, I could sell you to people and they can do whatever to you. So I'm glad we're not I'm glad we're not trafficking Rue, even though at the conclusion of this episode, Rue does want to be, I don't know if you would call that trafficking, but she wants to be involved in sex work, but not as herself, as like on the sidelines helping behind the scenes, I guess. I'm not sure. But so yeah, so she's working with Lori against her will. And that makes me wonder if everyone who works for Lori is there against their will, like who really is there and getting paid besides Lori. And Lori's such an interesting character because that actress has that same monotone affect in everything. Like I saw her in Fallout and she has that same monotone voice, but it is really scary in Euphoria. Like it really works as a fear tactic. Like, why are you so monotone? What are you going to do to me? You're going to chop me up. Like it kind of feels like that. And Rue has been working there. Okay, she's been doing these. She's been doing what she said. She did a dozen runs over the past 2 years. So I'm guessing that's a run every month, a run every other month. Excuse me. And she ends up convincing Faye to do this with her, which is like, are you really friends with Faye? Because that's not a friend wouldn't get you into that. And I guess Faye had nothing else to do since her boyfriend died in the last season. So she don't have nowhere to be. And Faye, interestingly enough, is sort of into one of the guys who is at Lori's level of this operation. I think he owns the place, and he is trying to set up his escape plan. Like he's trying to get out. Faye genuinely has a crush on him, I believe, at this point. I think it's genuine, and he likes her back because he ends up like trying to make her a chicken dinner for just her, even though he is cussing around and shit stuff. Excuse me. But Faye tells Rue that Wayne, that's the guy, he has money. He has money in a safe that he's saving up so that he can get out of this. And he keeps the key on his belt. So I smell a scheme cooking, and my prediction is that they're gonna somehow rob Wayne. And I want to know if Faye genuinely likes him or not, because she did rat out her own boyfriend in the last season. So I think Faye is always thinking of a scheme. So I think she is 10 steps ahead, but using her feminine wits to get what she wants. So I don't think she genuinely likes Wayne back. But yeah, so they have the gross scene of them swallowing the drug balls, I don't know, the sacks of fentanyl, and they have to take it across the border in their bodies and then like excrete it out as they get over. So if that didn't make you want to follow the rules of dare, I don't know what will. Like, you don't know where that stuff it's been in someone. So also Rue's an Uber driver, and I feel like that was an afterthought, but it was really funny to see her with the Batman writer. That was actually really funny. But she ends up going to see Lexi, who now works as a runner. She works for a production company. They are producing a soap opera, and Rue is really still talking about this Christian family, and like the Christianity is kind of Rue's arc of this episode. Probably going to be her arc for the season, I guess. Like she is listening to the Bible on audio tape with the Uber riders in the back. Like it's following Rue that she thinks that people with religion are happier than people without religion. Like she's looking for a new drug, basically. Because I wasn't sure if I'm assuming she's back using, but I wasn't entirely like we never see her. I didn't see her do it, so I'm not sure. I mean, you would have to, right? If you're surrounded by it all the time and you live there. So I'm guessing she's back on it, but it looks like she's looking for a new thing to like throw her life into and to like fix it maybe. So I think she's really looking at Christianity this way. And she ends up talking to Ali about it, and they have like a funny conversation about like where homosexuality fits into that. Like, can she still do that? But Lexi tells her that she won't be friends with a Christian. It's like, okay, but you'll be friends with Rue, who's done hard stuff. And I guess that's not like, that doesn't make Rue a bad person, but that's where you draw the line at her, like trying to find religion, like that's too much for you. So, I mean, that's Lexi. Lexi is also a crush is brewing on this actor who works on the soap opera, who is one of Maddie's boss's clients. And he kind of reminds me of the guy from the Christian pop star from I Love LA. So that's kind of funny. Only in looks, not so much in personality, but kind of a funny crossover there. Like, would Lexi have a crush on the guy from I Love LA if he was as Christian as he was? I don't know. I don't know. And we do find out that Fez has a 30-year prison sentence, which is convenient for us to not having his cloud. Like, that's how they wrote him off the show. But like, really sad for Fez. Like, that's fucked up. That sucks. But yeah, Fez is in the pen for 30 years. And he's still obsessed with Lexi because, of course, if you go to jail for 30 years, the last thing you did on that last day, that's all you're going to be thinking about. So, of course, he's still thinking about Lexi and that show he never went to because he was taking too long to get dressed. I don't want to talk about it. So, and Gia is in school in Arizona, thank God. And this also makes me wonder if Rue is in Texas walking on foot, if she has access to a car, if she's driving Uber, if she's going all these places, why doesn't she run away? Especially because Lori left the town where they lived in. So I'm assuming her mom is probably okay if Lori doesn't live that close. I mean, they could try to get her mom. That is a thing. But if Gia is in school in Arizona, like, she could try to leave. She's been to Mexico a dozen times in 2 years. Girl, keep going south. Keep going south. I don't understand. That's kind of iffy for me because she eventually wants to go work for this other guy. But it's like, okay, but you could have tried to leave because you're still going to have to leave if you go work for this other guy. So that's a little bit of a loose thread for me. We can talk about Maddie. Maddie is an actor's talent manager. And for Maddie, she looks beautiful, super gorgeous. Her job is, what did they say? It's like next to glamour, but it's not really glamorous in itself because we see that she's like living in a basement and her check is only $800. Like, her boss is making a lot of money. The people around her are making a lot of money, but she's not. So I'm wondering if like she's going to go into sugaring or something, or if she's going to steal from her boss. It doesn't seem like she would want to do sugaring because she talked down at it when we found out that that's what Jules is doing in New York. Oh, I can't wait to see that. I cannot wait to see that because I'm assuming that Jules is living a glamorous life, but of course there's going to be a downside to having to wait on men to pay your bills and stuff. I'm sure that's not as cool as it could seem, but I know she's going to give us great outfits. So last is Nate and Cassie. So Nate and Cassie, I guess they've been together these last 5 years and they're just now engaged. And Cassie, this is Sam Levinson's fault. Like, I know he just wrote this in because he wanted to see it, but him like subjecting the rest of us to see this, like, so she's in like dog lingerie, and it doesn't give, like, it's not sexy. It looks more like Halloween. It's giving like kink, I guess, but not like universally sexy. I don't know. Like, she wants to be, they said a couple things. She wants to be TikTok famous. She wants to be an OnlyFans woman, OnlyFans creator. And if she wants to be TikTok famous, I'm like, is this her thing? Is she dog girl? Is she girl who looks like dog? Girl dressed like dog? Like, is that her shtick? Because I just don't get it. It doesn't give. And if Sam Levinson wanted to explore like cam girl, you should have kept Kat. Like, we could have had this through Kat, and it didn't need to be. It doesn't make sense for Cassie to want to be an OnlyFans creator. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, okay, So for Cassie, I understand that she's insecure and she wants the validation of Nate. And like she's so obsessed with Maddie. She's still obsessed with Maddie. She's checking her Instagram. She's so obsessed with Maddie that she needed to take Maddie's man to have that validation of I'm better than Maddie. But okay, you have that now. Why would you then want to risk it to possibly lose that validation from Nate that you wanted so badly? Like that doesn't, I feel like that contradicts the character's wants. Like I thought she was obsessed with having Nate because she wanted what Maddie has. And I understand her wanting to do a hot girl job and to make her own money. I wonder why she wouldn't want to be like a model or like an actress or something, or just a normal influencer. Like you could cook, you could show your house off. The house is tacky. The house is the set of Priscilla. I'm gonna be real. Like the house, it's vintage and it doesn't make sense that they're living there. Like, are they in LA? Because if they're in LA, where the how did they get how I know that Nate's wealthy, but is he and this it's like he's wealthy, but the house is old. The house is not renovated. So it's like they bought a big mansion, but they haven't renovated it yet. So he's wealthy, but he's not. I feel like they would he works in construction. I feel like they would have a renovated place or they would have just gotten a really cool apartment. Like he drives a Tesla truck. Why would you take that to Graceland? It doesn't those it don't touch to me. And like those continents don't touch to me. And so Cassie wants to be an OnlyFans model because she wants money fast. Okay, I got it. I'm trying to I'm trying to like make it work, but it just doesn't make that much sense to me. And Nate eventually lets her do this, but he doesn't want her to show her face. Okay, sure. So we're back to the cat storyline, right? We could have used cat. Whatever. They're gonna have a wedding, and she wants $50,000 worth of flowers, which again doesn't make sense because Cassie was not a rich kid. So why would she knows the value? I feel like she would know the value of a dollar, and that $50,000 for flowers is crazy. Wouldn't she want $50,000 cash, like for herself? She doesn't have any money. So I'm not really buying that. I feel like Sam Levinson just wanted to have Sydney Sweeney in the dog lingerie. That's honestly how I feel. He's looking at the costumes like, oh, let me write this in so that she can wear this. It doesn't make sense. Nate was actually very calm this episode, very chill vibes. He's taken over his dad's business and, he's stressed about having a business, but he also definitely wants to control Cassie. He definitely wants her to be a trad wife. He keeps saying you don't have money, and you don't have to work. So it's like he's like you don't have money, but you don't have to work. You don't have to work. It's like both. It's like he likes the power, but he's also using it to keep her in her place and to like tell her she doesn't have money. So I don't have any predictions for them. I really don't know. I actually really don't care. So we're going to see what happens with them. And let's get back to what happens to Rue. So Rue ends up going to this party. And I feel like this whole episode was a Western. It was a Western. It felt like a little Tarantino, like when he does Westerns. The absence of Labyrinth's music is very noticeable. The music, the vibes, the whole tone of the show feels different. And I'm not sure if I quite like it yet, but we end up going to this guy named Alamo's house. I do like the name. He's a cowboy. He's a pimp. He's a pimp or a strip club owner, however you want to draw the line there. I do like his security. He kind of gave me like a Don Cheadle type of vibe, but he has a fro. And then locks. Did the lock connect? Chat, did the lock connect or was it two locks? I don't know. He has a piece here. I don't know what you even call that. I'm sure there's a name for it. My bad. But Rue ends up Wayne tells Rue to take these drugs to Alamo's house. And she gets there, she meets this girl. The girls are all half naked, and I just feel like this wasn't the Rue that we had in high school. Like she was never like frat boy ogling big boob women like that. Like it was always like she liked girls, but like not in a vulgar way. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it really gave that she was in a fraternity and like just like you know those cartoons with the dogs and like their tongue will roll out of their mouth. That's what it gave that she was. That's how I felt like she was at this party. Like she was like, oh god, like at all these like naked women. Whatever. That's the direction we're taking Zendaya. This I feel like this is a humiliation ritual for Zendaya. So yes, so we have Rue there, and she meets this girl in the bathroom, and I think Rue stays at this party too long. Um, the drugs that are passed around end up killing one of the girls. I think it's the girl that Rue talked to in the bathroom. I wasn't quite sure. Um, and they find out that the drugs that she brought were laced with fentanyl. And Rue knew this because when she's telling us about the sack balls that they smuggled in, she's like, that's how fentanyl gets brought in. So it's like, okay, well, you knew it was cut with that. So why did you stay so long? I don't know. Why did you stay so long when you knew it was cut? You knew it wasn't pure. So before the girl dies, she's talking to Alamo and Rue wants to work for him. I guess she wants him to get her out of her deal with Lori. Because if she could just run away and get a new job, she would just run away and get a new job, I guess. But she's like, it's my dream to work at a strip club. That doesn't make sense. When was that her dream? That's not the Rue I knew. That's not the Rue I knew. I don't know how to feel. But so Alamo is like, they're in talks, like it could happen, and the girl dies, and then this is where we're brought back to the religion, kind of like an Adam and Eve type of vibe, because there's an apple, and Alamo is like, you believe in God, let's see if God believes in you. Puts the apple on her head. I thought he was gonna put it in her mouth and like try to knock it out with an arrow. So that would have been too much for me. But he puts the apple on her head, and it's like what it's like for this, let's see if God believes in you is like, does he does because if he's a bad shot or a good shot, he could just shoot her. So he ends up shooting the apple, and she lives, and she's celebrating. So predictions for Rue, I'm like, okay, is he gonna take her? Is he gonna let her go? Because he was like, did Lori send you here to kill me? And she's like, well, why would I stay if I knew that someone was gonna die? So there is that. So I don't know what's going to happen. I know the character with the afro connected locks or two locks does not like her. So there's going to be some interesting drama there. But, that was the first episode. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel, guys. Tell me how you feel. Are you excited for this season? I'm so glad it's the last one. Oh my God. And I just can't wait to see Jules. I'm excited about that. Yeah. Let me know what you think.